Funhouse active, king of the palace, rubber like Malcolm, balled up fist in the air to the fast lit, yeah, hands up in the air till they gun me down, I keep it 100, they crunching the numbers, I'm getting wild, young nigga got a fetish for success, if I ain't next and I just leave impression, next to rain on the window pane, puffin' plain Jane, let them second guess me, wanna cop the Porsche with the porcelain skin, grip the wheels, let the horses why they trash to the chore on my list? Out of this orbit, I saw with the pen. I'm eating good, Miss Caloric as shit. I sipped the potion and ported it. I on the tide when she poured it. Opportunity knock at the door, then I grip. They rush for the doors, then they open like biscuit. Pin stroke, game cold as the fridge. Sound wave for like more than the clicks. Cowabunga, search the word for my shit. Ayy, wait. Been gritty, don't pity, they full thing with me, been real, fuck trending, I'm hype, I'm litty, been this since scrimmage, don't play game with me, I volley these hits like I play tennis, I drink this shit, now I live it, don't pitch it, I live here at the top of the titty, said I run this shit, how I try to with the pizza, why they flop with the vision, jaw drop when I spit it off top, little bitch, we need 7 figures, catch the fade when they chip me, bet I kinda down to the penny wave, ay, heavy is all on my mind, I gotta make that in it, wait, but I might spark that wildfire, rebel when I breach, funhouse active, yeah, king of the palace, rubber like Malcolm, balled up fist in the air to the flashlight, yeah, hands up in the air till they gun me down, I keep it 100, they crunching the numbers, I'm getting wild, funhouse active, yeah, king of the palace, rubber like Malcolm, balled up fist in the air to the flashlight, yeah, hands up in the air till they gun me down, I keep it 100, they crunching the numbers, I'm getting wild, I just might crash it, really I'm passive, ready for manage. Catch me, I just want passion, love and attraction, let me do that shit, I just like crashing, see I'm passive, ready for my manage, catch me, I just want passion, love and attraction, let me do that shit. Charge on its last light. Same clothes on from last night. Still lit like it's last night. Young living in the fast life. Young. Smoke cloud from the ash pipe. Catch air from the half pipe. I need a centerfold from the shows with the mansion. Chandelier dancing. Counting a Branson. Yeah. Been had hella Franks when it's ballpark figures. Might be in the field, but I came from the trenches. You can tell it's my time, look at that swing. I do like the charm on my wrist, let me flip. Want me pay the way, I'm the wave, I'm authentic. Sitting courtside, got a sprain. Nigga, I run the gang for the gang. Nothing but a thing when I sang. Young Usain, I sprinting. Getting fresh prints. Counting a blessing on blessing on blessing. They call me the reverend, y'all nigga play too much. I've been so gone off the braces, I end my hiatus by sparking that flame. Shit, y'all niggas stay in your lane. Young entertain. I'm next to rain, the fuck is you saying? Out of my brain, not from this planet. Hide from the cameras, high up the energy sent to me. From the enemy, that's the advantage. By doing the damage, accounted advances. I buy you my nemesis. This is my genesis. I never had privilege. They took our innocence. But fuck that, I'm young and I'm wild, going ignorant like funhouse active. King of the palace. Rubber like Malcolm. Balled up fist in the air to the flashlight. Yeah. Hands up in the air till they gun me down. I keep it 100, they crunching the numbers, I'm getting wild. Funhouse active, yeah, king of the palace. Rubber like Malcolm, balled up fist in the air to the flashlight. Yeah, hands up in the air till they gun me down. I keep it 100, they crunching the numbers, I'm getting wild. Funhouse active. Funhouse active, yeah, king of the palace, rubber like Malcolm, balled up fist in the air to the flashlight, yeah, hands up in the air till they gun me down, I keep it 100, they crunching the numbers, I'm getting wild, young nigga got a fetish for success, if I ain't next and I just leave impression, next to rain on the window pane, puffin' plain Jane, let them second guess me, wanna cop the Porsche with the porcelain skin, grip the wheels, let the horses why they trash to the chore on my list, out of this orbit, I saw with the pen, I'm eating good, Miss Caloric as shit, I sipped the potion and ported it, I on the tide when she poured it, opportunity knock at the door, then I grip, they rush for the doors and they open like biscuit, pin
Yo.
What is going on, everybody? It is your boy Chase, aka CR Media, and I am here with my good friend, Pro Wrestling Kingpin, Mark. How are you doing this evening, sir?
I'm just great. Ravens just lost me money, but no big deal.
That's all right. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because Big Country Matt Stockdale says, "How about them Chiefs?" I'm doing fantastic, man. Life is really, really good when you have the best quarterback in the NFL. I
Must
can't
be
say
nice.
much about that.
Must
It must be.
Must be nice, man. Must be nice.
The Chicago Bears passed up on him and took Mitchell Trubisky. So
if he was on the fucking Bears, he would have been regular, if that.
That's very debatable. It's very debatable, but I understand that. I understand that.
He would have been a regular ass guy, 100%.
A rag.
Bears cannot fucking train quarterback. It's just what it is. They can't develop nobody.
Understandable. Yeah, I'm hoping they trade away Justin Fields and let that kid go be a star somewhere else.
We need to keep him. Go on. Wrestling.
Yes, absolutely, guys. We welcome you to another episode of Bad Booking. So Mark and I didn't have a whole lot of time to talk prior to this show. I don't want to start the show off really grim, but I do want to preference this by saying this show's going to be a little bit different tonight. And Mark, I apologize if you had big plans, but I made a decision to sell my WrestleMania tickets on Thursday. I'm still going to Philly for a week. I still have my my flight, my hotel, and but I am not going to WrestleMania. I will not pass off any of that money. Wow, internet's taking a shit while I'm.
Was that you or me?
Yeah, it's me. It's definitely me. Has to be.
Okay. Because I was just looking up. It's what?
It's Xfinity, and they have a gigantic contract with WWE, and I'm shitting on them. No, I'm just kidding. That's a joke. Am I good? It still says I have one bar.
Why did you sell your tickets?
I'm not giving my money to that company.
Wow.
They made the first move by letting go of Vince McMahon. But I want everybody in that company held accountable, including Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, and Nick Khan, who were on the private investigation committee, and they didn't even have the decency to interview the victim. It's not okay. I'm not supporting a company that does that. And TKO and Endeavor need to be held responsible as well, because anybody that tells me that they didn't know about it are lying to me. In November, when it was announced that Vince McMahon was selling $675 million of his shares, it was very obvious to me that that everybody knew what was going on. Now that these stories have come out, it's disgusting. It's disdain. We're not going to talk about an ounce of it on this show. We'll talk about the Royal Rumble, and that's it. There is not going to be a mention of what he's accused of, what happened. The information is on the internet. If you want to go check that out, that's on you. But it will not be promoted on this show as a way to gain ratings on this show. It will not be talked about. There will be no jokes of it. If you make jokes about it online, you're a piece of shit. It's disgusting. It's revolting. And it's just not going to get talked about. That's all there is to it. So, like I said, I'm more than happy to break down the Royal Rumble with you this week, brother. But as far as the other stuff, no go. So with that being said, with all of that out of the way, we appreciate everybody joining us this week and hanging out with us. I see there's a few of you guys watching. I would greatly appreciate it if you hit the like button, hit the share button to let people know you're watching it. And even if not, throw a comment or an emoji in the comments, whatever. Both of those things that you do help the algorithm on YouTube and on Twitch, no matter how you are digesting it tonight. It helps people know that you like watching the show, and I appreciate that. Mark appreciates that.
For sure.
Like I said, man, it was a very weird few days.
You're
I
lagging,
contemplated
bro.
about. I know that this is really upsetting me.
I'm sorry.
Are we good now? That's all right.
Kinda. You sound like a robot on my end. Let me look how many bars
I might.
I'm full bars right now, so yeah, it's on you.
Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to back out. I'm going to let you kick off the show. Tell everybody where they can find us on social media and all that shit, and I'll be right back.
All right, cool. All right, guys. Sorry. So Chase is having a little bit of a technical difficulties because Xfinity is just so good. What's going on, Anthony? Good to see you. Rumble was pretty solid overall. We're gonna get into that today. But like I said, you're gonna be able to find myself, Pro Wrestling Kingpin, on all social media with the exception of Facebook. So Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, or X, whatever the fuck you want to call it, YouTube and Twitch. Chase. You can find him on all social media, Chase CR Media 1988. He does a lot of things going on right now. Mainly his internet. He's fixing it right now. He should be back in a couple of minutes, but he has a lot of things going on. The guy is actually a newfound wrestling promoter. If you're in the Kansas City area, he does Fountain City Pro. That's his own wrestling promotion, which is pretty good. Definitely can't wait to check that out. So make sure you follow my boy Chase on that. As far as what I got going on right now, I actually recently started my own wrestling podcast with a lifelong friend, my boy Gonzo. That is called Smack Talk Wrestling Podcast. So we're a live stream and podcast. You can find us on Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, and obviously YouTube, Twitch, and where I'll go. That one is mainly a WWE show. We did shit on things that we're not going to really discuss at this show today. But the Royal Rumble definitely was great. We're definitely going to get into that. We're going to be what this show's all about is we talk about the landscape of professional wrestling. So it's not just WWE. We'll be talking AEW. We'll be talking TNA. So it's really fun to have TNA back into that brand that we got there. Sorry. TNA brand, which is really cool. I love the TNA in the 2010s. It's going to be really good. But yeah, man, Chase does some good. Rest of what we got going on here. Yeah, Anthony, the Royal Rumble was definitely really good. I loved it for the most part. The men's, we'll get into that in a little bit. Women's absolutely killed it. We'll get into that. But yeah, so hopefully my boy can get back in here so you guys can stop seeing me talk about myself because I'm pretty much almost done talking about myself right now. What else? So, like I said, I had my own wrestling podcast that just started, debuted today. It's on my YouTube. If you guys can please go and give me a follow on YouTube if you haven't already, pro_wrestling_kingpin. You could go ahead and check that out. I'm also gonna be doing wrestling card pack openings. I post a little bit here and there on them. We're gonna be doing live breaks on them. So that's gonna be really cool. Really big into that hobby right now. That's my big thing when it comes to the wrestling cards and all that good stuff. Definitely need Chase to get back in here. Don't know what else I could really talk about here. So you know what, guys? Let's give it a second for him. Please don't go anywhere. We definitely appreciate your support. So if you guys could take this time right now, like, share the live, we'll greatly appreciate it. But give us a second. We'll be right back. We're going to put this on pause just for a second. All right, guys? All right, guys, who's in here right now? Talk to me, guys. While we wait for Chase, why don't you guys fill up? Those of you that are watching, we got quite a few people in here watching. Why don't you guys comment your favorite moments from the Royal Rumble last night? What did you like? What didn't you like? We'll talk about it real quick as Chase gets his life together. Just give us a comment. What was your favorite thing? Put it in that comment for me. What didn't you like? What wished you would happen? What did you wish would have happened? Things like that. Whatever you want to put in the comment, help me guys out. Let's see what you guys liked about the show, which, like I said, I thought it was an overall great show, in my opinion. But if you're here, guys, go ahead, give me a comment. Let's talk about it. See what we got going on as we wait for my co-host. As we wait for my co-host to come back. You guys there? Let's go, guys. Let's interact with me, man. We got quite a few people here in the stream right now. Go ahead and comment. What was your favorite moment from last night? Favorite moment. Bueller. Here we go. Let's see. I was glad the Reigns match was in the middle because it was a typical ending. I liked Cody winning. My favorite moment was Jordan Grace showing up. Yeah, I loved that Jordan Grace showed up. I thought that was pretty awesome. I love that they acknowledged her run as well as Naomi's run. Reigns, I mean, he's in the heel faction. That's what happens. That's what typically happens with Roman Reigns. He's in a heel faction. It's going to be the typical finishes. But yeah, I did like the show overall. All right, here we go. My co-host is back. Can he hear us? Can he speak?
Yep.
Find out.
I can. Can y'all hear me?
We can
I
hear
seem
you.
to be good. Yep. All right. So, did you give everybody the down low, where to find us on social media and all that good stuff?
Bro, I was ready to. I was getting ready to fucking start dancing because you were taking so long. Like, let's get it.
I know, man. My bad, guys. We appreciate you joining us tonight. Hopefully, Mark covered all of our grounds, and we're all good to go now. Let's get into this thing, man. Royal Rumble. What would you grade it overall?
4.5.
4.5, really? Out of 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
I enjoyed
that's
it.
really, really high. I enjoyed it too. There was a couple of things. I was massively irritated with the Kevin Owens Logan Paul match.
The ending of it, or just throughout the match?
All the way up until the Jeff guy came out, and I know I'm going to sound like an old guy, like the get off my lawn guy, but I don't know who that is. And it just made no sense to me. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, oh, you know me from YouTube. And I'm like, but I don't. And unless you're, yeah, I don't know you from YouTube. And I don't know how many people there knew him from YouTube. And then it just got sloppy from there.
Right.
Like number one, if the ref doesn't see it, it doesn't count, right? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody taps out while the ref is knocked out or while the ref is not looking, it doesn't count. So how come the ref looked at Kevin Owens' hand and saw the brass knucks and goes, "Oh, you're disqualified"? It was a cluster. It was a giant cluster. It was a giant clusterfuck, and I just didn't like it.
I understand your point. But it's the same thing as like the back in the day with the Eddie Guerrero throwing the chairs. You know what I'm talking about? If they didn't see it, but you get to this call, it's the same thing in my eyes. I didn't hate it. I really didn't hate it. I thought
I thought it was I just thought it was a clusterfuck. You know what I mean? Like they mentioned the Jeff guy showed up, and then Austin Theory and Grayson Waller came out, which I don't have a problem with them coming out, but it got weird. And then with the brass knucks, I was like, okay, this was it. I thought I was expecting it to be really good. And, you know, if you wanted Kevin Owens to lose, have him get knocked out by Logan Paul with the knucks or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I think they
did it to extend the feud.
I know,
you know,
but here's my number one problem. And I know that they're not pay-per-views anymore. I know that people don't pay $65 to see them anymore, but my idea is that it's never, ever okay to do a disqualification on a pay-per-view or a premium live event. I hate it. I think it's stupid. But that, like I said, that's just my personal opinion. Well, a lot of people are like, well, like you said, it's to further the story. And I get that. I just wish that they would have furthered the story a little bit different. So,
I mean, I don't think the first time there was a disqualification in a pay-per-view or a premium live event. I mean,
no, it's not the first, but I still hate it. It's still
oh yeah,
stupid.
of course. I mean, if you hate it, yeah, of course. I mean, that's fine. But I mean,
yeah, I know
really
it's not the first time, but it's still fucking stupid.
Yeah, I definitely don't have a problem. I don't have as much as a problem as with that match as you do. Clearly,
yeah,
I had more of a problem with the men's Royal Rumble, to be honest.
Yeah,
they were clearly outshined as far as storytelling and overall production and overall, what I'm saying, overall interest from the women's Royal Rumble than the men's. 100%. Like it was, the women hit out the park.
So here's what I'll say, man. I agree with you, but to play devil's advocate here, Mark, do we feel that way because we didn't feel like there was any interesting surprises in the men's Rumble?
No,
we expected there to be surprises, and there just wasn't.
No, I'm actually glad there wasn't. I'm glad that WWE entrusted in the roster that they have, with the exception of Andrade, El Idolo coming back. They entrusted in the roster that they have to put on a good show. They didn't rely on that nostalgic factor, someone coming back, taking up a spot that someone else could have been in there. So I actually have no issues with that at all. I don't need the surprises being there. While, of course, Jordan Grace showing up was a nice surprise. Naomi coming back was a nice surprise. Obviously, we all expected Jade Cargill to make her debut, but same thing with
Which
that.
Was amazing.
Amazing. Hit it out the park.
It was one of my favorite parts. It was one of my favorite parts of the Rumble.
Perfect.
Her showing up.
Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
I couldn't have done it any better myself if I was a promoter. But I mean, it's the same thing in the women's. I mean, besides Jordan Grace showing up, there really wasn't many surprises. You got to re-sign in Naomi. Same thing. You got to re-sign in Andrade El Idolo. So they didn't rely on past, superstars to come and show up. And that's what I appreciate and like, because you're given the talent that you have and pay on a daily basis to produce that show. It was just, I felt like it was just managed better as far as storytelling, certain spots. I felt like the men's Rumble started off hot and it kind of phased out, in my opinion.
Agreed. I agree. Like I said, I was playing devil's advocate asking that question. I don't disagree with it at all. If you notice, there's a lot of people on social media who are upset that there was not a lot of surprises or returns or whatever in the Rumble. And I'll say this, I think Triple H is not a fan of it. I don't think he is. Alejandro Rosa 21, appreciate you following. I don't know if that's your stream elements or mine.
No clue.
No,
but regardless, we appreciate you.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, man, I thought the women's flowed a lot better. It was exciting. The only thing, like one of the big things that I didn't like about the men's was how like it just didn't feel like it was spread out well. Like all the members of Judgment Day like came out kind of like
back to back almost, like
it seemed like it. Like I know Damien's was spaced out a little bit, but it did seem like it was like kind of like back to back to back.
Which generally I don't. I'm sorry. Before we go to Cody, which generally I generally don't have a problem, because it's always been like when you have one member of your team, the next one comes out, and you have like the team ups and everything like that. But for them to just gain up on everybody so quickly, they came out to like, it would be better if someone was in trouble than, oh, here comes this team member coming to help him out or something like that. And the men's Royal Rumble, like I said, to start was hot. I thought the storytelling immediately had the Usos start 1 and 2. Loved it. It was nuts.
Yep.
I was like, I can't believe they had the balls to do that. You get a one-on-one match.
I think they dropped the ball though, because I wanted to see Jimmy cost Jay and get eliminated.
Yes.
And that be the start to them leading at WrestleMania. I thought that was a huge ball drop. I gave Royal Rumble a 3 overall. Okay. Like I said, I thought the match, the Fatal 4-Way match for the WWE title, was fantastic. But the end just made it so predictable. And I know that ruined it for a lot of people, because everybody was like, oh, the ending was bland and it was predictable, but it still was like, AJ Styles is everything he says he is. He's phenomenal. And like, he's at the back end of his career, obviously, but he just looks in such great shape and he just performs so well. And I just thought that match was done really well. I wasn't a huge fan of the United States title match. And then the women's rumble match was just, the women's rumble was awesome. It was super, super awesome. So
I definitely met the best of the night, in my opinion, was the women's Royal Rumbles match. My only problem is the same problem that you had with the men's when it comes to Jimmy and Jay. It comes with damage control. So I predicted. What?
I'm gonna let you tell that. I'm gonna tell you why it irritated me with the damage control thing too.
Yeah, it irritated me because we've been seeing that.
We'll get to that.
We've been seeing that, WWE has. I'm sorry, not WWE. We've been seeing that damage control is definitely have dysfunction. We are all predicting that Bayley's about to get exiled in some way, right?
Yep.
So why wouldn't you have either Bayley eliminate her own team members, quote unquote, accidentally or even on purpose to get ahead, or vice versa? I felt like they did nothing to do that storyline. And so with Bayley going and dropping promos talking about, when I win the Royal Rumble, I'm going to go after Rhea and not Io Sky, what stops her from doing that now? Because you did not do anything to further that dysfunction within that team. So why not go after Rhea Ripley at this point? How does she get to Io without being kicked out, saying I'm going after Io instead? So that was my only
the same
problem.
way they did it with Batista. I don't have a problem with that at all.
Oh yeah. I mean,
she's the winner. They're gonna try and convince her to go after Rhea. They're gonna try and push her, and then some stuff will happen, and she'll make the switch. But what was kind of confused, or what was silly to me, and this is me just nitpicking. This is me being a little bitch, literally. Asuka comes out, and Bayley looks at her, and she goes, "What are you doing here?" She goes, "This is my Royal Rumble. Like, I'm supposed to win. You already have gold." And then when her and Io get eliminated, Bayley goes, "What are you doing? You were supposed to help me win." Well, according to you, they weren't supposed to be there. So
exactly.
I don't know. I thought it was weird. Like I said, it was just me being nitpicky, but I was like, that was odd. I still, like I said, Women's Rumble, I loved it. The show overall, I was very shocked. I thought Roman was going to go on last, and Victor asked the same question, and we hadn't gotten to it yet, but Alejandro asked it as well. How WWE plans to incorporate The Rock in all of this. So, and I really, if I had enough time and I really gave a fuck a lot, Mark, I would have screenshotted and cropped your message to me last night where you said you were right.
I'm going to give you your moment here. You know what? I'll do it for you. Look he doesn't have the screenshots, but last week in our show, I said Roman's not losing for what, 3 years, 2 years?
Yeah. 3 more years,
however long the crazy Bruno Sammartino record is.
Yeah.
That's
Mark proclaimed last week that the WWE is resetting all of the titles, and that they were going to reset.
Which they did, with the exception of Roman Reigns' championship, which they did. And I had zero faith that WWE would do the right thing, which they never do, but I digress. WWE would do the right thing and give it to Cody. So I was convinced that CM Punk was going to win, and we were going to get 3 more years of Roman Reigns. But thank the Lord, and thank for Chase putting this into existence. His prediction might come true, where number 1, Cody wins the Royal Rumble. That's phase 1. And phase 2, you guys asked for The Rock's involvement. Chase, and I think he's right. This is what I texted him. Roman Reigns might pull double duty on night 1 facing The Rock, and night 2 facing Cody Rhodes, and losing, hopefully.
See, and because of you last weekend, I started to doubt myself.
Thank you.
I started to doubt myself, and I'll tell you why. Because what if The Rock doesn't work WrestleMania this year? Because after he was, I don't want to talk about TKO or WWE corporate at all. But I do want to mention that, Rock was appointed a part of the board of directors, and he tweeted out, he was like, I'm at the head of the table now, acknowledge me. And I thought, what if that's Rock's way of just saying, I'm backing out of WrestleMania?
I mean, it could be. And the thing is, even if we do get that, that's fine.
Yeah.
Because Cody won, and that's all that matters right now. So even if Rock doesn't fight, which I think would kind of be a letdown at this point, you're out here making teases, but even if he doesn't fight, at least the man that everyone wanted to win won. So now I go back to my last year prediction, going back to my original, where if in fact Cody does win, Cody likes his trilogies, and I think we get Roman Reigns if he loses again next year against Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, Cody definitely likes the trilogies. I will say that. Stephen Chambers, appreciate Stephen Chambers hanging in here. He said F the 49ers. Stephen Chambers was rooting for the Lions. I think everybody was.
Chambers, we're gonna highlight that because both the Ravens and the Lions, both the Ravens and the Lions fucked me tonight. So screw those franchises.
But no, I still think I'm still, like I said, I started to doubt it. I still think that that's what they go with. Because I would like to believe that WWE would not leave that tease on the table, where Rock said, "Oh, I'm gonna go out and go out to eat tonight. Don't know what I should have or where I should sit. Should I sit at the head of the table?" I would think that WWE would capitalize on that tease, but remember, WWE is pretty well known for making teases and not capitalizing on them. There was the SmackDown where Rock showed up and then he met Triple H in the backstage area, and him and Triple H were talking, kind of going back and forth and jaw jacking and talking about having one more WrestleMania match, and they never capitalized on it. But at some point, I do think that Rock wants to have the final match, his last match. I think it's this year, but I wouldn't be surprised if Rock just said, hey, I'm not doing it. Or whatever.
Would Roman be his final match, like ever? Like it would be Roman?
Yeah, absolutely. It should be.
Yeah.
It should be, because let's face the facts. Roman's not done. His title reign will be done, but Roman is not done. Roman's not done by a long shot, especially with him being the hottest and biggest commodity in WWE right now. It would be stupid for Roman or for somebody to imply that Roman's about to retire. So
if Roman loses, which it's pretty much looking that way, finally, do you think Roman? Yeah, hopefully they don't just give a fuck you to Cody. But when Roman loses, possibly loses, not when, possibly if Roman loses, do you think now with Roman Reigns, the only time he would be on TV moving forward would be as though how Brock Lesnar was, when it's literally world championship or nothing at that point? Like, is that just the Roman Reigns?
I wouldn't say world championship or nothing, but I think that given his schedule right now, you're gonna see Roman in a part-timer schedule. I don't think even after he loses the title, I don't think he's going to go back to a full-time schedule. He may come back and be full-time for a couple of months, but it's going to be periodically. So
I feel like he's just going to take a long time off if he loses, and we don't see him till we start talking about the Rumble again. I think he takes almost the rest of the year. Like, he just disappears. Yeah. The bloodline's still there, but bloodline minus Roman. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Until he's ready for the trilogy to take over.
Yeah. I'll say this before we kind of move on from the Royal Rumble. Since we're talking about the situation, I think one of two things is going to happen. And I said this last night. I think either my prediction of Rock facing Roman night one, Rock taking Roman to his limits, but Roman comes out victorious. And then the next night, Cody beats him, Cody still gets his moment. He still beats Roman clean, but there is still that thing where Roman still looks really, really strong, which is what WWE wants, because he didn't, he fought 2 nights in a row. Roman can take some time off and then come back, etc. Or B, we don't get Rock at all. And the way Cody wins, if he does, the way Cody would win is the empire has to crumble. So sometime between now, if we're not getting The Rock, then sometime between now and WrestleMania, Solo needs to leave Roman, Jimmy needs to leave Roman, and damn near close to Heyman leaving Roman. Because if not, do you see what I'm saying though?
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%.
Because let's go back to last night. If Solo and Jimmy don't leave Roman, like if they don't like separate themselves from Roman between now and WrestleMania, then what you're telling me is that this is no different than last year. And why didn't Cody win last year? Because if Cody goes one-on-one with Roman, where's Solo going to be? Is he going to interfere? Is he going to come in wearing a black hoodie? Where's Jimmy going to be? Where's Heyman going to be? Like those factors need to be eliminated before WrestleMania if we get Roman, or if we're not going to get Rock and Roman night one, then you know what I mean? Like it's got to happen somehow, some way. So appreciate Blackwell. Haven't seen Blackwell in a while. He said, "Hey fellas, hope all is well. Keep grinding. Glad to see you two back at it. Glad to be back at it, man. Glad to be back at it." But that's my whole thing. Like I said, the one of two things either needs to happen. Like I said, my prediction. Somebody said a triple threat match. If this is Rock's, if this is Rock's last go, how unclimatic would that be for him to be in a triple threat match?
No,
against Roman and Cody.
No,
and imagine the doubt that it would put in people's mind again. Imagine the doubt. Night one, Rock and Roman just go at it and they tear each other apart. And then Roman is seen held high with the fireworks going off. And then for 24 hours, people go, Cody's about to go out. He just beat The Rock. Like, Cody's about to go out there and lose to him again. And then Cody wins. And everybody's happy for Cody. And it doesn't tarnish Cody's win at all. But at the same time, it also doesn't tarnish Roman Reigns, because you had to make him wrestle 2 nights in a row.
I agreed with you almost everything exclusively that you just said, with the exception of you don't think it tarnishes Cody at all.
Now, if Roman doesn't go in acting like he's hurt, if Roman goes in and he's like, "Oh, my shoulder's fucked up from wrestling The Rock last night," or "Oh, I suffered a minor injury," and then Cody beats him, that tarnishes it. But if he goes in there like, "Yo, I just beat one of the baddest in history last night. Now I'm going to end your story and beat you tonight." And
what if he does? What if he does?
If he does, I'm with you. I told you if he does.
Oh my God.
Because here's the thing, man. Like I said, if he doesn't lose it at WrestleMania, he has to lose it at WrestleMania. Like maybe not. I'm not saying not this year, but like if he doesn't lose it this year, then we're going to wait till WrestleMania.
It has to be at a WrestleMania for him to lose it, because it's that. Yeah. It's so elevated.
It's been that magnitude. Yeah, we're not talking like a 1 year. Yeah, we're not talking like a 1 year title reign here. We're talking 4 fucking years, man. Like it's gotta. Yeah. It's a big deal. Like I said, whether you like it, I like it, or anybody likes it, Roman is the biggest thing in WWE right now. And SummerSlam, Roman losing the title, I don't like.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, it can't be SummerSlam. It can't be Survivor Series. It can't be the Royal Rumble. It's got to be a WrestleMania moment. He is the immovable object, the unbeatable force. It has to happen at WrestleMania. That's my opinion. I'm not saying it's not going to. Like I said, they could do whatever. They do a lot of weird shit, so they can do whatever. I mean, they could be like, haha, we're gonna have him beat Cody, and we're gonna have him go to WrestleMania 43 with the title.
No, I agree, man. I agree.
So, anything else about Royal Rumble that you wanted to talk about?
Nah, man, that pretty much covers it. I'm trying to think. We already discussed how amazing the women's was, and I just wanted to give their flowers, and that was it. Oh,
Um,
so is Naomi back, or was that a one-off?
I think Naomi's back.
Okay.
I think Naomi's back.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, I didn't actually think about that. You just asked me, and you just got my sudden like knee jerk reaction, but kind of putting RK Shuttleworth. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate you chit chatting with us.
Yeah, I think she's back too, because if she wasn't, I feel like they would have had her use Trinity and her music from TNA. They gave her the Naomi name.
Yeah.
They gave her old music back. But yeah, that was something I wasn't expecting. I was like, oh shit, you were just TNA freaking Knockouts champion. I'm like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but other than that, like I said, it was great.
Yeah,
TNA working relationship.
I don't remember who it was. I think it was TNA that posted it on X, where they were like, "Congratulations to Jordan Grace for entering the Royal Rumble. This is just the beginning, or this is just the start of it, or something like that." So I don't know if they were trying to imply that we're going to see more of that partnership. Moose did an interview with Chris Van Vliet, where he talked about wanting to face Roman. And or Chris Van Vliet, kind of mentioned that to him, hey, remember last year when you were, the Impact World Champion, you were calling out Roman Reigns and walking through the forbidden door, blah, blah, blah. And Moose was like, yeah, man, I was trying to make something happen. It would be interesting to see, to get somebody fresh to face him, maybe at Elimination Chamber. I know he's not supposed to be at Elimination Chamber. I'm just shooting from the hip here, guys.
Right. Of course. We got it.
But, something of that nature. The only other thing I want to mention about the Royal Rumble is, were you happy that it came down to Cody and CM Punk?
Yeah,
I was too.
Yeah, I love the fact that Walter. No.
Okay. No. So I didn't click on it because it looked like clickbait, but I scrolled past the post. Okay. All right.
He was getting
scrolled past it, and they were like,
he was getting roasted on the IWC. Internet wrestling community, guys, IWC. He was getting roasted because they're like, oh, he looks out of shape, ring rust, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude,
he's 45 years old.
He's 45 years old, number one. Number two, he's not rusty. He just fucking fought in New York against Dominic Mysterio. And then number three, it's the Royal Rumble. Half the competitors that are not being featured on TV at that point are on the fucking ground from a punch. So, I don't think he's injured. I think it was just playing the part of the Royal Rumble. It's a long, excruciating match because of how long you guys been in there. That's what it was. I did like the fact that, moving on from CM Punk, I love the fact that Gunther was in the final three again. And I love the fact that Cody was the one that eliminated him again, which also you can use that for a future, if he is a world champion, Universal champion, whatever the fuck, a future feud with them, because basically Walter can't get over the Cody Rhodes hump. He's the one that eliminated him 2 years in a row. So I really like that aspect. That's long-term story there.
I would love to see Gunther be Cody's first challenger if he wins. And beats Roman, if Roman takes time off, I'd love to see Gunther emerge and be the first challenger.
I would love that to happen too, but since you love the WWE draft and brand split so much, that's not going to happen because Cody Rhodes would be exclusively to SmackDown. So sorry to shit on your parade.
Well, I'm sorry to shit on your parade, but as we've talked about several times before, the number one reason why you hate the WWE draft is because they don't follow it. So what is stopping Gunther from going to SmackDown and challenging Cody?
Touché.
I miss us playing games. I miss the drafts. I didn't have anything prepared. Obviously, I've had a busy day today.
We will return next week with a draft. I promise. I will have it prepared, and I will win as usual the draft.
Wow, that's weird. Because I've got a bunch of clips on that I can put on social media that show you lost, but that's all right.
He edits them. It's fake news.
Oh man, good stuff. Where are we going after this, man? Like I said, I want to focus. I want to focus a lot on other places other than WWE.
So we spent 44 minutes. Well, we spent 39 minutes, and the other 6 minutes was technical difficulty. So we spent 39 minutes on WWE. So let's move on to a little bit, maybe some AEW and ROH right now. Let's get back into that. So let's just start off hot. Let me start this off for you. So you got Samoa Joe as the AEW champion right now. So, last year I was shitting on that man for not being on TV. That guy was just MIA, and now he's the AEW World Champion. So we've already discussed last week that AEW has kind of been on a downward spiral. All right. So far, he's been champion for what, 2-3 weeks now? 3 weeks? Maybe a month? I don't even know right now. A month, maybe, give or take.
Yeah, whenever Revolution was, right? Which was like November, December.
I don't even remember. But how do you like his run so far, and what do you think about the landscape of AEW right now?
Yeah, I mean, like we've kind of talked about it, and and I'll say this. This will be the last time I bring it up. I swear to God. For the same reasons why I don't want to talk about WWE. Somebody could argue about AEW. There are a lot of big holes in the whole thing that happened with AEW. I still think Chris Jericho's a piece of shit, and whatnot. But that is not the reason why I felt like AEW was in a downward spiral. I felt like there was a lot of things that they have underutilized, a lot of balls that were dropped, just a lot of weird stuff. But we talked last week when we were kind of talking about the landscape of AEW. RK Shuttleworth mentioned it right here. Seems like the women's division is on the rise in AEW. That was a huge plus for me. Obviously, Hangman, Swerve Strickland is red hot over right now. I think that's something that they need to capitalize on. Deonna Purrazzo, all that stuff that they have going on. I think that they are going up from that downward spiral that you talked about. But I would love to see them capitalize on some of this stuff and pretty quick.
I think AEW is going back to basics. What was really hot for them when they first came onto the scene was, number one, focusing on the actual wrestling part of AEW wrestling, but not just putting some random people together, but legitimately having stories behind those matches and having them put on a story within that match. I think slowly, early that's starting to go on, which is why the Hangman and Swerve feud, I'm just glued to my TV when I see it. I think that's really good. And number two, the tag team division seems to be coming alive again.
Yeah.
So that's something that they utilize. That's something that they harped on when they first came onto the scene in 2018, I believe. 2019. And I think that's something that needs to go back to. Unfortunately, I feel like the trios championships now, when they remember how I was bitching about how there was no trios division, and then you got all these trios and they're finally starting to put, emphasis on the trios. Now that's taking a downward spiral because now it's just title matches or nothing again. And then you got the ROH trios, and then you got the AEW's trios, and this is like, what are we doing, guys?
Yeah, those two should have been merged. It should be, I would like to see them kind of like separate, because ROH and AEW are not the same thing. At least I don't think they are.
No, they're not.
I've never, I would like to see them separated, but I would like to see the trios title unified and the trios championship kind of be that one thing where they do kind of cross over a little bit into that AEW ROH realm. I think that would be cool. My other thing is the biggest problem I had with the trios championship is you had the Elite, the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, and then you had the House of Black, Aleister Black and Brody King and Buddy Murphy. I think Aleister Black should be in a singles competition going after the international championship or the AEW championship. I think that they should have found another member if they wanted to do the trios. Again, and I feel like we're a broken record. Like, here we are, 2024, January of 2024, almost February of 2024. And all the shows that we had last year, I felt like we were just having the same exact conversation of like, why would you introduce these trios championships if you just can't utilize them and utilize the talent that you have? And now you have 3 shows. So you've got 5 hours of TV a week, not counting ROH. You have 5 hours of TV a week, and you can't figure out what to do with these championships. You can't figure out what to do with these stars that you have. I feel bad for Andrade because I know Andrade wasn't happy in AEW, and probably rightfully so. Whatever. I don't know if that shit was self-inflicted or not. But he comes out in the Royal Rumble, and the crowd is just dead silent. The crowd,
zero pop.
For all these people that claim that WWE, pipe in crowd noise, it right then and there would have been a great time for WWE to pipe in some crowd noise if that's what WWE does, because you've got this big shocking return, and nobody gave a flying fuck, but the commentators. That was it. I mean, I felt bad for him. Because it's like, dude, you got into this fight with Sammy Guevara. You threw this little bitch fit so you could get fired from AEW, so you could go back to be with your fiance, and you finally get to leave AEW. He wasn't fired; he left on his own will. But you finally get to leave AEW, and then you go to WWE, and like I said, nobody fucking cared at all.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. I mean, there's certain things that if I was booking AEW, I would look to fix and turn around. One thing that I would change that I think AEW needs to do is just shut that forbidden door a little bit.
Yeah.
That forbidden door needs to be shut down. More so, let me give you an example. So on Rampage, we had a number 1 contenders match for the International Championship. All right. It was called the Freshly Squeezed 4-Way. Very funny. Just wanted to mention that name. Love it. Sounds
like a movie I watched.
Well, yeah. Of those 2, of those 4, 2 of those guys were AAA champions. Unnecessary to me. Commander wins. He's a AAA cruiserweight champion, I believe, currently. All right, and then you have the AAA World Champion and Hijo del Vikingo in that match. Hijo del Vikingo gets so much more TV time than top stars in that AEW roster. This guy's on TV all the time. We need to shut that forbidden door, and AEW needs to let their own talent shine. Yeah. Second thing I would fix, don't eliminate ROH. I don't agree with you with unifying championships. ROH needs to stay its own brand and stay on the streaming service that they're on. And I need to stop bringing out ROH championships. ROH people, separate the rosters, do a brand split, and whoever's on AEW main roster, that's what needs to be done, and it needs to stay that way. Too many championships. You need to focus on the championships that you have and establishes those divisions, those trios divisions, your international championship division. What is it? The Continental Championship now. Apparently that's a thing, which was weird, but whatever. And then your AEW World Champion, you need to get established guys that could be legitimate contenders for these guys. But then when I have 6 other championships and then I have AAA guys coming in and New Japan guys every other day, that Forbidden Door pay-per-view that you have means nothing.
Yeah. If the Forbidden Door is open all year round, then when you do your special Forbidden Door pay-per-view, it's not special anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah. Also, a big fuck you to Paul Levesque, Triple H, for that stupid ass comment during the presser.
Oh,
I didn't watch the presser for obvious reasons.
I saw the clip. Yeah.
I didn't watch the presser because I know nobody was going to ask hard hitting questions about the allegations. Number 1. Number 2. I read that somebody shared that little snippet on there of him going, I'm not going to use that two or the 2-word thing that, everybody uses because it's silly. Shut up. You guys had no problem using it last year when Mickie James walked through the Forbidden Door, you moron. So shut up. I was a humongous Triple H fan. He is more and more of a bonehead to me now than I've ever looked at him in my entire life. He is such a yes man, And for him to say something stupid like, "Oh, I'm not using that saying because it's childish," or whatever he said. I can't remember exactly, but it was moronic. It was absolutely moronic. So it is a forbidden door. That's what it was called. That's what you all called it before Tony Khan used it and made it into a pay-per-view. That's why you don't want to use it, is because Tony Khan uses it now. So shut up. All you had to do was just say, I'm not going to use that term. I'm going to use a different term. Okay.
Agreed.
You didn't have to insult anybody about it or whatever. So that's why, like, I love it when people are like, oh, Tony should just put down the Twitter machine. Listen, if you paid attention to everything that everybody says on both sides, you would realize that there's stupid shit that's said on both sides. And that, what Triple H said, or Paul Levesque, whatever, at that scrum last night was stupid. RK Shuttleworth, appreciate all the comments, man, that you're putting in there. Appreciate you watching. He says, it seems to me that Santos Escobar and Andrade are competing for the same sort of spot on the WWE roster. They need to be able to differentiate themselves from each other. Agreed. I won't 100% agree with him just because Andrade just came back last night, but I do know that the WWE kind of has a history of that. And I don't think that they should do that with Andrade and Santos, because Santos can grab the microphone and cut a full promo, whereas Andrade cannot. If they don't put anybody with Andrade, what is Andrade going to do? That's why I legitimately felt bad for him last night, because if he's not over with the crowd, and the crowd is not excited for him to be back in WWE, and you don't have a mouthpiece with him, what's he going to do? Because
let Charlotte be his mouthpiece. Give him Charlotte. Charlotte can't wrestle for a year. Let Charlotte be his mouthpiece.
That I wouldn't hate that. But also I think other people could easily argue that Charlotte is a way bigger star than he is. So it wouldn't do Charlotte any favors. Maybe if Charlotte is okay with taking that passenger seat for a year while she's healing.
I mean, okay with, she can't do shit anyway. It keeps her on TV. She gets paid more. Time's still on. Yeah. She gets major exposure, and she heals.
But again, to play devil's advocate with you, she doesn't need to.
Agreed.
I mean, she doesn't need the exposure. Charlotte could leave for a full year and come back, and everybody's gonna make, it's gonna be a big deal because it's Charlotte.
Agreed.
But yeah, I wouldn't hate it. Like I said, to this guy's comment and whatnot, I feel bad just because, like I said, at least Santos can grab the microphone and cut a great promo. I loved it when Santos turned on Ray, and the promos he was cutting after that. I'd love to see them keep working with Santos. I am in fear of Santos a little bit just because of his size. You know how WWE doesn't like guys that are under 6'3". But it is what it is. Sting and Darby.
AEW. Yep, Sting and Darby.
Yes, Sting and Darby.
Going into the tag titles.
If this is what Sting wants, cool. I'm a big proponent of, guys in the business that have delivered decades, like Taker, like Sting, guys like that, being able to leave on their own terms and do what they want to do. And if this is what Sting wants to do, then all the power to him, man. But if this was a creative decision somewhere, this is weird to me, because I can already paint this picture for you. Sting and Darby are going after the tag team titles. They're going to win. Sting's final match, he's going to lose to the Young Bucks, and the Young Bucks are going to be the tag team champions again.
You just fucking pissed me off.
Sorry, that's as soon as
didn't even think of that. You know what I thought about? I thought about maybe Big Bill and Ricky Starks were like, "Nah, fuck this. You guys aren't gonna fight Sting and Darby in their last match." I thought about this whole they win the tag titles and then he retires. I didn't even think about the fucking Young Bucks still there. If they drop it to the Young Bucks, I'm gonna be so fucking mad. And the fact that Sting is not getting a one-on-one drives me nuts.
Yeah. Like I said, you can say that, like, hey, Sting is not getting, but we don't know. Sting might have went to Tony Khan and said, hey, my last match is going to be Revolution. I would like it to be a tag match with Darby. I came in with Darby. I want to leave with Darby, or whatever, And kudos to him if that's what he wants. Like I said, I'm a big, huge proponent of that. But like I said, when they officially challenged Big Bill and Ricky Starks to the tag team titles, it hit me like a brick in the face. I was like, oh, they're gonna win, and then they're gonna lose to the Young Bucks at Revolution, or they win at Revolution, Sting retires, and then they have a tournament for the tag team titles. Darby agrees to vacate them or something, which I think sounds stupid. I would rather the Young Bucks win them, regardless of how silly that sounds. But like I said, that's the two things that I have in my mind with it. You got anything else to add to that?
No, I just
That
Sting
ruined your
deserves
night.
better. Sting deserves better.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Like I said, in a perfect world, Jericho's not a piece of shit. It
Yeah.
should have been Jericho versus him in a final match, and Jericho taking the L. But now Jericho's a piece of shit, so we're not going to get that.
Even though, I mean, even so, with Jericho being a piece of shit, I mean, Tony Khan is still booking him. I mean, right after the allegations were made, he pushed Jericho into the main event as a way to say, "Ha ha, fuck you," to everybody.
So I kind of haven't.
So, I mean,
here,
the Sting and Jericho match should have still happened.
Let's talk about it. So that should happen. So I don't really know the whole story. I didn't really look into it. Are they allegations or is it proven?
So it's allegations. So here's the long story short of it. I know Nick Hausman has something to do with it. Nick Hausman has a very sketchy history of releasing news that isn't completely true or isn't completely accurate. But the thing that stood out the most to me, and what is making me, what is kind of forcing my decision to think this is about Jericho, is the comment was made on Twitter about Kylie Ray.
I saw that. Yeah,
somebody mentioned, and somebody had mentioned something, a story of, hey, like, be careful. Jericho will invite you to his hotel room, and when you show up, nobody will be there, and he'll try to force himself on you. And then you have to sign an NDA. And then Kylie Ray replied with a heart. I don't know if that violates her NDA, if she signed one. It's just so coincidental that when she went to AEW, she left. She retired from wrestling because
she left abruptly. She left abruptly. She did.
Yeah.
She did.
And I just don't know why any woman would reply to that message specifically if there wasn't some truth to it.
Another question. Has Tony Khan said anything about it?
They asked him at the media scrum at the last pay-per-view, like World's End. It was World's End. They asked him about it. He goes, "I'm not going to comment on internet rumors." He completely shit on him. Like, he didn't make a business statement, like your typical business statement of like, hey, we're not going to talk about that right now because we're investigating. Right. But until investigation is over, Jericho's presumed innocent. Like, he could have completely gave a business answer, but he very nonchalantly, arrogantly said, "I'm not going to comment about internet rumors or internet talk," and it made him look really shitty in my eyes.
No, because, I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. And this is me not being biased. Everyone fucking knows Jericho's my GOAT. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
But
Jericho's still. I mean, he's still a. Yeah.
I agree with that. I agree with your statement where I feel like Tony Khan should have came out and be like, "Hey, we're not answering questions about this, but just know that we are investigating it and move forward." Because if I'm in my business. Right here, you own the Chiefs, right? And allegations came out against Patrick Mahomes, right? If there's no tangible proof and you haven't done your investigation, you're not benching Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. You're not. No. You're not. And I somewhat agreed. I kind of agree with still booking Jericho, but at the same time, if you're still booking Jericho and not taking the thing seriously, that's what I have a problem with. So if you're not sitting there, if you have this allegation against Jericho, you should be like, you know what, we're looking into it, whatever, then I'm cool with that. But the fact that you said that he nonchalantly was like, yeah, I don't acknowledge that bullshit, there could be some truth to it, even though the guy you said is not very credible because he puts out fake news out there. But if you have something as serious as that is going on, then that's something that you should at least acknowledge and be like, we're looking into it. Until then, Jericho will still be booked, innocent until proven guilty, whatever. And I 100% agree with that. And I would have accepted that. So I don't know.
Yeah. So here's the thing, like RK Shuttleworth, again, appreciate the comments, especially like the engagement. People keep saying Khan should investigate something, but if there is no one coming to him with anything, what would he investigate? If there's an
agreed
NDA,
on that point too.
If there's an NDA, there's nothing to investigate. Why would you make somebody sign an NDA if you're innocent? That's why, like I said, I thought it was so funny that Jericho commented on Twitter about.
But is there an NDA? But is there an NDA?
We don't know.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Because like I said, if Kylie Ray signed that NDA, if that's true, if Kylie Ray signed that NDA, she can't come forward and say I signed this. She'd be in breach of contract and she would be subject to a lawsuit.
That's what I'm saying.
Like I say, and sometimes
people are here.
Unfortunately,
go ahead.
I was going to say sometimes, unfortunately, and I'm not saying this is the case, but and this is why I don't have the same attitude towards AEW that I have towards WWE. Because I read all 67 pages with the WWE situation, and I saw the screenshots of the text messages. So that's a huge difference. Yeah. So, so this is the different situation. These are serious allegations against Chris Jericho. But again, I can have my opinion of like, hey, I think Jericho's a piece of shit. I think he's lying. And I think Tony Khan's helping cover up for him. And Kylie Ray's in a shitty situation because it just so happens that she decided to retire and had a mental breakdown around this time. It would make sense that if somebody tried to assault her and she was forced to sign an NDA for it, like that would make a lot of sense to me. But that's my opinion. I'm not going to, I'm not out there on Twitter accusing Chris Jericho of this. I'm saying like this is what I'm saying. So that's the difference between the two. We'll still cover AEW. But like I said, that's how I've kind of separated the two situations between each other.
I agree. And like I said, just to end it, I don't want to keep harping on this too much. Number one, Jericho's unfortunately innocent until proven guilty. That's what we do. And until something actually comes out or some type of merit, still my GOAT. But I'm warning you, Jericho. I know you watch my show every week religiously. If something comes out, you're dead to me. But until then, he needs to fight. He needs to fight. He needs to fight Sting. That needs to be the match. Give it to me. You should have gave it to me in London. You didn't give it to me in London. Give it to me. But this tag team match is bullshit. And with that being said, I have nothing else to say on the matter.
Agreed. Bang Bang Scissor Gang.
Stupid. Go on.
What is going on? I don't understand it. It makes no sense to me. But
you have a trios division.
Shed light on it.
You have a trios division and you have a faction. In order to make a trios division work, you need your trios, factions, stables, whatever you want to call it, be in a division and feud each other. Not create a super faction of unnecessary bullshit. Like, what are we doing here? Switchblade, main eventer. Aleister Black, main eventer. Switchblade, fortunately, has three other members where he could be a main eventer, but now we're doing a super faction. He gets one title match, and all of a sudden, it's just, I don't know what to do. Like, come on.
Let's stick him with. Yeah, I don't like the move either. I'll be interested to see where it goes from here. It didn't make a whole lot of sense to me when I was watching it. I was like, man, like, it's just weird. But I digress. I was hoping that maybe it would lead to like an NJF situation, maybe. Whatever the case may be. Speaking of MJF, I know that you, Switchblade is the main eventer, Juice is the mid-carder, and the Guns are the tag team.
As it should be, and they should go back to that mold. And if you want them in a trios division, then you use Juice in the tag teams.
I'll hang on to this. I mean, you never know. They could be waiting for the right time, and then Bullet Club Gold turns on them again, and maybe creates a big, a big feud, whatever the case may be. You had it down on here. I have not looked. I'll be completely honest. I even saw this like I even saw this
I
when
looked.
you put it. Or you did look.
Yep,
Okay.
I looked. It's
So
confirmed.
yeah, MJF is taken off the AEW roster.
MJF has been taken off the AEW roster. I don't think he's left. I think he signed long ago. But it's just good to talk about. We trying to keep the kayfabe as much as we can. But when MJF was gone last year or the year prior, I forgot when he was gone, he was also taken off the AEW roster,
Yeah.
and then he came back as the Devil and won that chip or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yep.
The I forget what the chip that he got, that little battle royal.
Yeah, the cash in thing, the casino thing.
Yeah. So he was off. But yeah, do you think MJF's gone, or do you think it's just for him to heal up, be off TV for a little bit, and come back and get his title back? Casino Battle Royal. Casino Battle Royal.
I think it was only done. It was Casino ladder match. Because remember, he had to climb. He had to climb up the ladder and grab the giant chip.
That's right. Yeah. Right.
So, anyways, no, I think it's goofy. It's silly. I think they did it to make people wonder, like, oh, is he going to show up at the Royal Rumble? Is he really gone? Did he really lose? Did AEW really lose the great battle of 2024? I think that's goofy. Yeah.
I don't mind
it.
He didn't
climb as Stokely did.
Yeah, Stokely Hathaway, my goat.
Yeah.
He I don't mind that they take him off the roster. I like it. You try to keep kayfabe as much as you can in a kayfabe-less world, especially with the internet community now. We didn't have this community when we were growing up. Everything was just like, oh man, is he gone? Whatever, So I don't mind it at the end of the day. So
I do and I don't. It's just, the reason why I don't mind it is because, like you said, it's a TV show. Like, yes, we like to complain and be like, oh, we know that's fake. Like, duh, it's all fake, stupid. It's a TV show. But like, where I have my biggest problem with it is I just feel like it's just been so fucking drug out. And I wish it just would have fucking ended with he came back, he was the Devil, he signed the contract then. Like, let's just put it to ease. Like, trying to let it drag on for 4 fucking years now. It's like, dude, come on. Let's move on.
It's the bidding war of 2024, man. You don't like it?
No, like I said, it was cool to like joke about like in 2022. And then, when he signed the contract and he won the championship, I just think it should have been put to rest and like we should have moved on from it. But then randomly in the middle of the summer, he was like, oh, just to let you all know that when I signed that contract with Tony Khan last year, it was only for a year. My contract still is set to expire on January 1st, 2024. It's like, no, it's not, dude. Shut up. It's not. It's just, it was just like them grasping at straws. Like, hey, do you remember that storyline that we had a lot of fun with last year? Well, I know it's dead and gone, but hey, let's try to revitalize it and try to make up some weird scenario where it still kind of makes sense, but it doesn't. I don't know. It just take your time off, come back, and it'll be cool. But when you come back, can we please have MJF back as a heel?
Please.
Please.
All right. Moving on.
It was so awkward to have him. I know he's going to come back as a baby face because he's obviously got to face. He's got to face Adam Cole. He's got to face the Devil and all that stuff. But God, dude, it was fun at first. It was nice, but
he should have been a heel for life, like one of those type deals. You know what I mean? But whatever. MJF, I don't think he's gone from the AEW official roster, but he is gone off the AEW internet roster, so he is gone. Lastly, I don't really have too much to talk about it. I just want to ask you a question. I've been watching a lot of TNA lately. Nick Nemeth, how do you like him in TNA right now? Love it, right? Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
I will never ever like harp for people to lose their job or be like, oh yeah. But I'll be honest with you.
He needed it.
Obviously, I'm sure he's not getting paid as much as he was on in WWE. Maybe he is. I have no idea. I heard TNA is busting out some cold hard cash for some people, and that's great.
Yeah.
I'm happy
But
for
I bet
him.
you he's having fun.
And if he is, and if Nick Nemeth is making just as much money with TNA as he was with WWE, fucking kick ass, dude. I'm happy for him. But dude, it has done so much for this business. Like I can't even begin to describe. The independent promotions that are bringing him in, bringing Mustafa Ali in, and whatnot. It's a pretty big penny. Like I said, I've inquired. So Mustafa Ali is all of $3,000 to book on your show. So, which is awesome, man. If I really want to, I'm happy to pay it. And I think Mustafa Ali is worth it. You know, and it's put the business in such a great position. I love it. And I love what TNA is doing. And I still love that AEW is able to keep that relationship and keep their guys able to work the indies and that stuff. It has made this business so much more appealing and so much more just crazy. Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
Mustafa Ali and I approve this message. Yep, absolutely.
All right. With that being said, do you have anything else you'd wish to discuss today?
No, I don't.
All right, then what is your bad booking of the week without mentioning any scandals?
Oh yeah. We're not gonna mention any scandals on the bad booking of the week.
Yeah, bad booking of the week. What is your bad booking of the week in the wrestling part of the pro wrestling world?
Easy. Ava Raine is the new NXT general manager.
There you go. We agree. Not even gonna give you mine
Hands
because
down.
why?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, I get it. Like she doesn't like. I loved her in the Schism role. Loved her in that role. But she just doesn't. It doesn't feel genuine to me. That she's playing like this good general manager role. It feels very disingenuous. I thought you remember last year when I said that her going up to the main roster and being part of the reason why The Rock comes back, I thought it was going to come true because she said a wise man told me.
Oh, I heard that too. Yeah. And it didn't.
And I was she's gonna. Yeah.
I think I would have rather just seen that. I'd be like, all right, fuck it. Just use her sparingly here in the bloodline and, whatever. You know what I mean? But this role doesn't make sense.
Because of all this talk for the past 3 years of Roman Reigns being the head of the Samoan dynasty and the head of the table and the Anai family and all this other stuff. And he's the high chief and all this, he even took the high chief name, and the necklace. And people would be like, why hasn't The Rock why hasn't The Rock come out? And then for The Rock's baby girl to come out and be like, I acknowledge Roman Reigns as my tribal chief. Then for The Rock to be like, okay, now it's time for me to sit at the head of the table because you mess with family. I thought that would have been a great way to do it. It would have built a story rather than just a one-off match, whatever the case is. But man, her doing this whole general manager thing, she's a fourth or fifth generation superstar. We don't know what she looks like we haven't had much exposure to her in the ring. She's still very young and very green. She can still develop. I just feel like them sticking her in this general manager role is their way of saying we give up. We don't know what to do with you.
I mean,
I think that's really shitty.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. That was my bad booking of the week as well. So with that being said, me and Chase actually agree on something. Lo and behold, that is crazy.
We went from going at each other last weekend to just, man, I felt like this episode should be titled Brotherly Love.
Look at that. Look at that. All right. With that being said, we're going to wrap up tonight's show unless Chase has anything else he wants to talk about.
Absolutely no anything. Because I saw you went live last night during the Rumble. I got a notification on my phone. I was watching it and kind of cooking dinner and cleaning. Obviously, I did Sports Empire Network. I did a post show for them, which is why I didn't do a post show with you.
Even though I'm his co-host, that's fucked up. Go on.
Well, I committed to it over a month and a half ago, so that's why. But
Don't
so
make excuses, make improvements.
Absolutely agreed. Here I am tonight. I was ready to do a show. I had to ask you if you wanted to do a show. I think that's an improvement because usually it's you asking me like, "Hey, are we doing something tonight, guy?" But anyways, so I saw you doing that last night. So I know you kind of talked about you're doing post shows and stuff like that. I want to give you an opportunity to talk about that on the show. So I want you to tell everybody who's watching right now what you've got going on as far as all that goes.
Yeah, so what I got going on is I'm trying to just dabble into an element that actually Chase got me into. I would never have been doing this without Chase. So Chase, let me give you a formal thank you, number one, because I've never would have been doing any of this without Chase. My boy Chase brought me into this. We were doing AEW Dynamite post show. Wow, that was a lot to say. So yeah, I'm trying to RIP. Maybe we'll bring it back at this point. Who knows? Maybe. But yeah, so I'm kind of dabbling into my own little thing here. I did start my own it's a podcast / live stream, more so podcast. We just filmed it live, but you can find it. So I created a podcast called Smack Talk Wrestling Podcast with my lifelong friend. I've known this kid since I was 11. His name is Gonzo. If you guys could go ahead and give him a follow. His name is Raising something. I forget. Raising Ghosts. And so he goes. We talked about just WWE for right now. There he is right there. Raising Personalities. Go ahead and give my boy a follow right there. Smack Talk episode number 1.
You fucked his name all up. I'm so glad.
He changed it. He changed it.
Okay.
In my defense, he changed it. In my defense, he changed it. My bad. But that's my boy Gonzo.
Thank God that Gonzo's here to let you all know where to find him, because
Raising Personalities.
Fuck that up.
It was a lot of fun. We filmed earlier today. That is up on YouTube right now. If you didn't see it earlier, you can go, and it will be up probably tomorrow. Well, stop changing your name, guy. It will be up tomorrow on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. That's where we're really going for. I really want to be in the podcast realm. So we're going to take that audio from the live stream. We're going to put that on. So that's what we're doing. He'll live. Don't worry about it, Alex. He'll live. But yeah, so that's what we got going on. I do got my wrestling cards. I'm still into that. I'll be guest starring next week on my boys' podcast. It's called Jelly Cards. You can find those on Apple and Spotify as well. We'll be talking exclusively on the wrestling card hobby. He is a sports card collector, but that episode I'm guest starring on his podcast. We're talking about wrestling cards and that. So that's what I got going on. Chase, what do you got going
on? Same shit, different day. Obviously I'm still doing the hot tag, but we are doing the I-70 hot tag periodically. It is not an every Thursday show anymore. I have no problem saying this because, again, this is my platform and I can do whatever the fuck I want without people getting butthurt. Or if they do get butthurt, they'll fucking get over it. I guess some people in the wrestling business don't like if you have an opinion. So sometimes they get fucking
really
about it. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. It's like, you fucking wrestled in front of 25 people and you think that you can control my opinion with your own opinions. So it's weird. So the I-70 hot tag, just the idea is the same. We are interviewing Missouri and Kansas and Midwest wrestlers to put them over. But that's it. We don't do a second half of the show anymore where we break down all the stuff going on. So that is what it is. Obviously, if you are in the Kansas City area, I'm not too familiar with everybody in the chat, but if you are in a drivable distance of the Kansas City area, Fountain City Pro will be debuting March 8th. We've got a fantastic show for you guys. The Quad Father, Camaro Jackson, will be taking on All Steel Jay Fowler in the main event. More matches will be coming out. More wrestlers will be announced. Tickets are on sale. We are almost sold out on Front Row. So definitely, like I said, if you are in a drivable distance of the Kansas City area, go get you some tickets. If not, a follow on social media would help out a lot. Just like with our show, it helps the algorithm. Other than that, I do some stuff with Sports Empire Network. If you are a fan of sports, definitely check out Sports Empire. Shout out to them. Other than that, man, I got nothing else.
That's it.
All right, you want to close this out?
If I close this out, I'm gonna talk shit about the Chiefs and everyone ruining my freaking parlay. So why don't you close this out?
All right, I'm not gonna let you. Yeah, I'm not gonna let you do that. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Chase. CR Media, as you may know me. CR Media 1988, as you can see the tag there. This is Mark, my friend, Pro Wrestling Kingpin. This has been another episode of Bad Booking Season 2, Episode 2, Brotherly Love. And with that being said, how about those Chiefs?
Fuck them.